Royal Silver. And although I do intend to do the retrospective of last year, I felt it... I collaborated with a lot of people this year, so I really feel like it's necessary to just dedicate thanking people to its own thing, because we did just that. I don't know, I've never really done something like this before per se, but like, I don't know how else to say it. We've done a lot with a lot of people, and just adding it as like a little chunk of the retrospective, I feel wouldn't give it the justice it deserves, because one, people don't watch that far into videos most times anyway, and two, I don't know how long the retrospective will be by itself anyway, so I feel like this gives it the optimal amount of attention it deserves. And as you might know, my channel has grown a lot this year, and with that, I've worked a lot with friends. But it's not just friends that I want to thank, it's everyone, it's the whole community, really. But I would like to give some special mentions, so allow us to begin. In no particular order, I'm not thanking people in rank by what someone did a lot of versus someone who didn't do that much for the channel. It's just thanking people in whatever order I remember them personally. And the first one I want to thank truly is Awkward Bound. Now, you might have seen Awkward Bound in the comment sections of some of my videos. Not the most frequent of guests on the channel, but definitely one of the biggest contributors. For those of you who don't know, a while back they got me to play Gnarled Hag, and that, you know, was one of the first videos of mine that really took off. But this year especially, you know, although the series started last year, they were still one of the main reasons why I even approached Doki Doki Literature Club as soon as I did. On top of that, in case you didn't know, they were the ones that recommended I play the game Helltaker, which was a fun little short series to do on the channel early on in the new year. But also, they have been on the channel since nearly day one with the Drive Ahead series, because they're the person always playing blue in those videos, aside from the few times that Parker shows up and helps out too. But yeah, they've been like a very silent contributor to the channel in a lot of ways, definitely helping a lot behind the scenes, and I think that goes without saying that, you know, Awkward Bound deserves a lot of praise for what they've done to help the channel grow and everything, and provide me the content that I have. And I don't give that person their flowers enough as is. The next person or persons I would like to thank happen to be the Three Morons. Because the Three Morons, as a collective whole, dominated, I want to say, at least a third of what I put out this year. Even though that statistic is probably blatantly not true, it feels that way. It does, because we did a lot. Obviously, you're gonna find them the most in the podcast, both Funzilla06 and Eyeless Arts. Arts especially being, you know, a huge commenter on the channel, someone who, you know, observes a lot of the content that I put out with no need to. It's not like I ask anyone to, but, you know, he does most of the time, which is nice, and we've done a lot together. You know, not even just the podcast this year, we branched down to other things. You know, you had Moving Out, you had Duck Game, you had Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, you had Brawl Stars towards the end, and even individually, like Funzilla06 appeared in Insulted, which I'll talk about later. But even so, he helped out there. He allowed me to do the Dokkan video earlier this year. Even if it was just a troll, it was still something I got to do with him. It was me basically trying to piss him off the whole time, but it was still, you know, his effect on the channel goes without saying. It has been one of the best, because he is, in my opinion, the funniest of the Three Morons, and I think his kind of dynamic with us works the best. And then obviously there's Alice Arts, who has been a huge supporter of the channel for even longer than Zilla was. You know, again, Three Morons and all the other stuff I mentioned there, but on top of that, taking time out of his day to do the tier list with me, in that 2-part little thing that we had going on. And just generally, like I said, being a huge supporter of the channel, those two, you know, there's a lot of great content and a lot of great memories that comes out of everything I do with them, and I genuinely can't wait to do more. And I have more coming with them. I assure you, we're hopefully nowhere near done riding this wave together, but even so, it's something I gotta call attention to. And even like, that's just their stuff in front of the screens. Like, Ilis and Zilla, you know, props to them also, because they helped record a lot of my performances back when we were in high school. And, you know, Zilla, like I always feel needs to be brought up, he was the one that encouraged me to do the Three Morons podcast in the first place, all those years ago. So he kind of started this whole thing, and for that, I think he deserves a lot of praise, but Ilis is right up there with him. And I'd argue two of the most important physical and present figures in the community that we have built. So yeah, a lot of flowers going to them. A lot of flowers. Next up, a bit of a smaller mention, I guess, to put it out there. You could probably, in a blink and you'll miss it kind of scenario with this guy. That was in English, but you get the point. And I probably should be thanking him second, but Numb Reality, who is not someone I have the pleasure of knowing personally, is a friend of my brother's, and he, you know, played Dead by Daylight with me and Alex when I was first getting back into the game, when I was first playing Survivor. So, you know, that's got to be mentioned because he's on the channel, and you know, although it wasn't a very big part, it was still enough, and even just a small part is already huge. So I wanted to thank him for putting up with me in my horrible Survivor ways, and basically helping carry me to the finish line pretty much every time we play together. Next up, and this is a big one, this is a very, very big one, Byron. It goes without saying that Byron did a lot this year. Obviously his most present year on the channel, being a co-host of Insulted, which is honestly, if you really look at it, it's not that bad, because we offend a lot of people, but we don't offend anyone, if you really think about it. Like, we're not saying anything bad, but we're just bringing up a lot of topics that are very controversial. Even so, Byron, you know, pops up every now and then in the comment section, so you might find him there sometimes. Kind of a rogue element on the channel, but he has been there for years, and he's been a constant well of comedy whenever he does appear on the channel. And I really hope that, you know, this year wasn't the end of Insulted. Like, I do hope we get to do more in the future, whenever that is, and if we ever get to do it. But, you know, even so, for what it was, that 6-part series, Byron was, yeah, he's just easy to work with, and I really appreciate what he's done, and I really appreciate everything I get to do with him. And yeah, no, I'd say that wraps up pretty succinctly, but yeah, even so, you know, there's plenty of opportunities there, and I think plenty more to come with that one. Next up, I want to thank my brother, who, like I said, I probably should have thanked before Numb Reality, because he's the whole reason Numb Reality even showed up on the channel. But I do want to thank Alex, even though he is literally in my house and he is out there, and I could thank him personally. I still think I need to thank him here because, you know, he played with me a lot, and, you know, kind of helped bring me back into the fold with Dead by Daylight. And, you know, he's just been every now and then he'd pop up and help, and he, especially with Survivor rounds, he like I said, he helps carry me to the finish line pretty much every time. But he'd also, you know, every time I thought a killer was strong, he'd sit down with me and be like, so, what makes you like this guy? But yeah, he'd be, you know, he'd help. Sometimes he'd watch my performances and give me tips afterwards and whatnot. But, you know, he was always just great on the commentary track and everything. And then he eventually started appearing in Resident Evil 2 videos and light that up because, yeah, it was definitely something that was needed. And he was just, he was a very fine addition to the channel. But he's been there for a while, you know. We've done so much together. And yeah, no, I don't know, it was just nice to have him around. Alright, so next up are two people who technically don't have any interaction with the channel, but I do want to give thanks to. And they're just two other YouTubers that, you know, are there. First off being the Stipendium, because if you don't know, I'm a fan of the Stipendium. I listen to a lot of his music. I've introduced others like Eyeless Arts to his music, and I think he is one of the best, like, YouTuber music people in the business. But he, on top of, you know, his music being a bop every time, I think he deserves his praise because he indirectly influenced me to play Beholder, specifically Beholder 3, and you know, that's been a prominent series on the channel towards the end of the last year, and will continue into this year, just as soon as I progress the game a little bit. But even so, you know, for, like, in previous years, he influenced me to play only cans, and, you know, he just, every now and then, you know, I'll be listening to his music, and then I'll see a game that I can play, and it's usually, much like OnlyFans and Beholder, a game that I wasn't aware of before he made a song about it. So, you know, it's a small thing, but it's, you know, an important thing, which is why I wanted to give Stipendium his flowers, because he does, you know, he brings these games to the channel without ever really, you know, doing anything directly, but just making things that he likes, which is, I don't know, it's cool. And the other one I want to thank is admittedly a bit controversial. I understand that he's not the most, favored YouTuber on the platform. Even so, I'm a fan of his, and I hope you can respect that and look past that if you hold any grudges against him. But Ohmwrecker, the masked gamer, I know some people are probably rolling their eyes at that, but it's true. I have been a fan of Ohmwrecker for ages, and, you know, his persistence with Dead by Daylight content not only educated me on Dead by Daylight from the beginning of it till now, but he got me back into playing Dead by Daylight. It was his constant playing of it and the constant notifications on my phone, and sometimes I'd watch some of his videos on it that made me think, maybe I should try it. And then, you know, with that, obviously came Alex helping me get it all set up and worked out and getting me back into the game. Even right now, like, for like the past, you know, maybe half a year, I've been watching, maybe not even half a year, but I've been watching Ohmwrecker's entire Dead by Daylight playlist. I'm on episode 421. I've been on episode 421 of his currently 534 videos. So I watch a lot of his stuff, and, you know, I make sure to link his channel in every video I do of Dead by Daylight, because, yeah, without him playing it, without his love of it, without his great content of it, I wouldn't be playing Dead by Daylight, which is a constant staple of the channel now. And so I feel like those two YouTubers deserve their flowers for, you know, not directly interacting with me, but still influencing me for playing a series that have now become such a marvel on the channel. So next up are just a few more miscellaneous ones. Obviously there is like, by miscellaneous I mean like smaller, you know, kind of roles to play. So I kind of like group them together, but also give just like individual little things to them. First off, Official Cheese Boy, even though I assume I should probably just call him Cheese Boy. I like Official Cheese Boy. For those of you who don't know, because I've only made one video on it so far, Official Cheese Boy recommended a series for me to do, which was to play his game called Cream Soda, and it's a game I intend to play in its entirety. And so I wanted to give his thanks to that because, yeah, I've always said, and I've kind of forgot to promote it as of late, but I've always kind of tried to specify that I will play the games that you recommend me. I mean, if they need to be paid for, then it'll take me a little bit longer to get to them, probably, but, like, I'll still try to get to them eventually. And, you know, for the first time in a while, someone came to me in the comment section asking me to play a game, and it was Official Cream Soda trying to promote his game. I mean, Official Cheese Boy trying to promote his game, Cream Soda. And, you know, why not? So, yeah, thank you to him for his recommendation, because that is going to be a big part of the new year, playing that. Obviously, it debuted in the 12 Days of Gaming, so yeah, we'll see where things go, and hopefully it's a fun series that, you know, has a decent run and produces some decent memories. But aside from him, you know, obviously taking a little bit of a blast to the past, I'd like to thank my scene partner, Cole, who, for those you don't know, was the guy who did Waiting for Godot with me. He was also like a secret little cameo in one of the 3 Morons episodes, so again, just shout out to him really quickly because, you know, he helped make Godot what it was and helped me do a really good job with it, and I think our chemistry we had and our dynamic really worked well together for that kind of thing, so, you know, shout out to him. Also, going off kind of that same wave, Oliver and Quinn for their help with the puppet performances. And I can't, it's so hard for me to talk about this because I know I can't emphasize it enough. We were such a well-oiled machine in a cacophony of chaos that was the drama class. Like, Oliver, Quinn, and I worked so well together. We had everything done so efficiently. We were so, you know, direct on it. We all had one collective idea as to what we wanted to do. Everything from the production aspect of it to the performance aspect of it was smooth sailing. It was fine with few interruptions. We had a great concept. The chemistry was great. Everything was great, and we just worked so well together. I can't specify just how well we worked together, and I would have loved to have a few more performances go that smoothly and that, you know, with that kind of unison, the way that one did. And that's, I think, probably why I look upon Puppet so fondly. It's not just because of the reaction it got, but because of everything that went into it that worked so well. And that's all thanks to Quinn and Oliver. Obviously being good friends beforehand, but, you know, bringing me into the mix with them and allowing us to work in that field together to wrap up our grade 12 year in the drama class. And, you know, now we get to wrap things up a little bit, we get to just more so the comments is what I want to get to, because aside from those who have appeared physically on the channel, there are the people who comment on the channel. Now, obviously, I don't have the most active comment section. I'd say a good, like, 95% of my videos don't have a comment on them. Even just last year, it's probably the same statistic, but this year, you know, I think my comment section has grown more active than it has ever been. And so with that, I want to give a few shout outs to, you know, some of my most frequent commenters. First off, another YouTuber, Jesse LaRusso. Hopefully I pronounced that right, but Jesse subscribed to me just after I hit 200. He was the 201st, and he, you know, he's checked out some of my videos, and he's been a very, you know, kind gentleman to work with, not work with, but, you know, always see a notification of on my phone and whatnot whenever I upload something, and he sees it. You know, he's commented on the shorts. He subscribed to me just right then and there, and it was a huge surprise to me. And you know, he commented on the anniversary video, which was also really, really nice to see. Not the most active commenter. I think the most active commenter has to go to Isles Arts without question, but he's definitely up there. and you know, he has no reason to, but I do applaud him for showing that support to me, which is just, it's so nice. I definitely didn't expect it, and I can't say enough how much I appreciate it that he has taken time out of his day to enjoy this with me. And aside from him, this one I'm hopefully gonna pronounce right on the first try, Vademort Lord. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong, but for those of you who might recognize Vademort Lord, he is very well tied to the Poof's Kindergarten series, which is something that like ended early in the year and then I never really went back to for obvious reasons. Well, not obvious reasons. There's nothing obvious about it. If you followed, you know that my upload schedule with Poof Kindergarten stuff has been horrible since pretty much the beginning, and highly inconsistent. But you know, he's commented on a few other things, but Poof Kindergarten being the main one, he's been, you know, just a support on the channel. And he's also recommended me games to play. Vademort Lord, if you are watching up to this point, I hope you do know I have seen your comment. I saw it a while ago, actually. And I did intend to play World of Vampires in the 12 days of gaming, but I miscalculated how many games I'd already played, and so I didn't really have space for it. But I assure you, in the new year, this year, I will very soon get to World of Vampires. It's just, I gotta get a few things out of the way, a few quick videos, and then I'll be sure to start playing that. It's already downloaded on my computer, I literally just have to record it, but I assure you I will be getting to that soon, and hopefully I can get that out more consistently than Poof's Kindergarten for, you know, a bit of an easier series to watch. But still, thank you for sticking around. I understand that, you know, my uploading schedule and whatnot has been a little bit frustrating and whatnot with that kind of stuff. And I do need to make one video addressing it, but that, you know, that's for a later date. Just thank you for, you know, your constant support. And lastly, this one I don't even know if I can pronounce. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try. It is, I mean, I'll put it at the bottom. It's PIOUFIHXH. And this person has also been a frequent commenter on my Poof's Kindergarten stuff. I know you, if you are watching it to this point, you've been asking for me to play the second Poof's Kindergarten game, and I do intend to get to that, but I'm thinking I'm gonna get to World of Vampires first, and then Poof's Kindergarten 2. And I know I apologize for that. It's unfortunate that I probably won't be able to follow up your request soon. I just have too many series running on the channel, and I'm about to introduce another. But I still wanted to address you and thank you for your support on the channel, your game recommendation, and also just commenting in general. Anyone who's taken time out of their day to comment on my stuff, thank you, because you know it helps. It always does. Everyone who's liked my content, thank you. Everyone who I've played Brawl Stars with without knowing that I was going to record it and put it online, thank you. Everyone who I've played Dead by Daylight with and had the same reaction, thank you. Yeah, no, I like that the community is growing. I really do, and I can't wait for it to grow more. It's nice. And, you know, special quick shout out to a certain fan named Jake, because I've been talking to him a lot on Discord, and he is a super chill guy. So I can't wait to hopefully collaborate with him in the future too. But regardless, I think that wraps it up. I just remembered someone else that I want to thank really quickly, sorry. And I meant to mention this when I mentioned the Three Morons, but I thought about Ireless Arts and Zilla, and then I started listing off their stuff, and then it completely blanked on me. Bree. I need to mention Bree, because Bree has been a very fun person to have on the channel. Obviously, a big part of the Three Morons. Since near the beginning, pretty much. and you know, popping up a little bit every now and then on the channel elsewhere. But Bree, you know, she deserves some thanks for her contributions to 3 months, because I don't think it would have been the same without her, and I think we don't acknowledge that enough. So, yeah, no. Shout out to Bree, and yeah, I think that about wraps it up. So, for everyone who's watched the Brawl Talk and hasn't subscribed, because there's quite a few of you, everyone who's watched Nutball and just asked for a fourth, thank you. Truly, thank you for everything. Everyone who's subscribed, thank you. And everyone I've mentioned, just thanks again for, you know, contributing to the channel in some way. I have been Azrael Silver, and I will see you guys very, very soon with a huge update, because if you're watching this point, then allow me to treat you something. A big, big change is coming to the channel. So stay tuned for that. That's probably coming up tomorrow. All right. I'll let you guys be. Thank you. Later, guys.